gentlemen, welcome to Thursday's Q&A right here at the Rag Company. And as you see, it's just me and
Anthony Fisher.
Dane is sick.
Dane is sick. He is. He's feeling better though. He's on the up and up, and so we're taking over Q&A Thursday, just me and Levi today, to answer your detailing questions. Right? It's a beautiful Friday Eve where we're gonna hang out, enjoy a few drinks, enjoy a few laughs, maybe a few tears along the way, and really just share some detailing knowledge.
We once took an entire crowd of people.
Yes.
75
grown men. Yeah.
And we brought them all the way down to where they were crying.
Yep.
And then we brought them all the way back up to where they were laughing.
Yeah.
It's one of the highlights of my life.
Yeah, we did that. That's a true story, actually. But no, it's a good day today, and this whole week has been, I'd say, not relatively low key, but I mean, we've had a couple exciting things happen, exciting things that you guys aren't going to find out yet, such as things within our Grand Ambassador program, which has been exciting. Levi has had countless meetings for
TRCMA meetings.
Some event, right?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, TRCMA is coming up quick.
It is
in April, the first week of April.
Technically, it's end of March, first week of April. It's
the first week of April.
It's the first day of April.
Yeah,
which really means March. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, we got to have everything done by March, so that leaves us less than 8 weeks.
Yeah,
to get everything done. So we've been Gabe and I have been doing meetings with everybody. So to all of you that are watching that maybe had a meeting with us in the last 2 weeks, thank you for doing that. And to all those who have meetings with us next week, thank you for making the time to do that. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of just pre-planning, figuring out what are the new products that people are going to be talking about. What are the new things that are going to kick off 2024 in a real nice detailing fashion.
I mean, because you guys are finding stuff out on these phone calls that nobody else knows yet.
Yeah, literally
nobody else knows.
It's pretty crazy. It's kind of fun. But I will say we've got a great TRCMA for you guys. So make sure you mark your calendars. First week of April, just like it is every year, we're going to be rocking and rolling with tons of new product from tons of new companies. And I think you guys will be really amazed. So it'll be fun. Yeah. We didn't do a New Year's podcast.
We gotta wait. We gotta wait till Dane.
We gotta wait for Dane. So we're really sorry for you guys if you were wondering and you were like, "What are your guys' resolutions?" Yeah, what's going on?
What are you guys accomplishing, or have you accomplished yet?
Well, I'm going to tell them one. I feel pretty proud of myself. I accomplished it.
Okay, or it's already a short one, so just
it's very short.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be 44 this year.
Yeah.
Next month I turn 44.
Yeah.
I have never played chess.
Yeah, not really.
No, not at all.
Really? Okay.
Never played chess. Yeah. I've played checkers, and I had taught Carly how to play checkers, and I was even wrong. We had to watch a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I've been wrong this whole time. So we watched a YouTube video. Carly and I had a great checkers game between the two of us. We're going to play again so we can teach the kids how to play checkers because we realized neither of them know.
Yeah.
But I want to take it one step further. So my New Year's resolution is to become a grandmaster in chess. I mean, just a normal chess player.
Okay.
So when someone goes like, who wants to play chess? I don't have to go like, I don't know how to play that. I can go, oh, I'll play you.
Nice. Okay.
I might lose, but at least I can play, right?
Because you've always been able to do that with checkers.
Well, kind of. I thought I could until I watched another video and was like, oh, I've been doing it wrong.
Okay.
Me and my sister used to play checkers all the time, and I think we made our own rules.
Okay.
And played checkers. Yeah. And my dad used to just cheat horribly on checkers. So I really came with a very subpar version of what checkers was.
Well, you have in English background, you have a little English in you, right?
Do I have a little English in me?
Yeah, you have a little old English in you, right? I mean, in your heritage.
Yes.
So, I mean, the way I see it is, I mean, it's kind of a prerequisite of being slightly English is knowing how to play checkers, right?
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know if that's the correct, origin of where chess, chess took off. But I like to think that the king, queen, knight, bishop situation
rook
all originated in England.
Yeah, I don't know where the game originated from.
Well, I don't know about that, but I like to think that the children of Saxelby, right, know how to play chess at a very young age.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking...
I'm of the Baskerville line.
Okay.
So...
talking like 4 or 5 years old, they're able to really start laying it down.
Yeah.
And they time themselves, right? They go, bam, they hit that little clock. So that'll be you before you know it.
Who knows? I'm pretty good so far. I've made many leaps and bounds into the world of chess. I've been playing a computer on a child's app.
All right.
On how learning for children.
So it's on a child's level of
the child's level of difficulty.
Okay.
I've beat the computer 4 times, and the computer has beaten me 4 times.
So it's fairly
doing pretty good. I'm on my way. So
all right, very good.
Making that happen. But I just wanted to, I thought that was something I could at least share, get people talking about. Maybe those folks that are listening, maybe they're some chess aficionados, or maybe they've never played it.
If we have any people from England here, right? Or from the UK watching, just give us your chess experience. I mean, did you learn at a young age?
Countries?
Or am I completely wrong by throwing that out there? I have no idea.
You might be. You never know.
So anyways, other things. Keep a lookout. Grandmaster stuff is going to be posted pretty soon. We're going to be announcing the new
crop.
I can't call them a crop. The new kids on the block.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's what I'll call it. The new kids on the block, right?
Because sounds a lot like crop.
These are the people that are going to be taking over. At T1 is what we're calling it now. It used to be called Q1. Now it's called T1. 6 individuals, right, that I think are going to be able to raise up the program and be able to put something into it that I think a lot of people are going to get out of. I'm
excited.
It's going to be fun. So that's going to be coming. And then, of course, we're going to have our Grandmaster Showdown winner announced here relatively soon as well. I still have a couple more things I got to work out there. It's just hard to believe, man, that we're going to be leaving here shortly. Because I don't know if I told you, I'm going to Disneyland, right?
Yeah, you did. You started
January. I'm going to Disneyland down there. I'm going to go visit my sister down in Oceanside, or she's going to come visit me. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Maybe they'll go to Disneyland with you.
Going to do that. I think they are. And then we're going to Mobile Tech. You guys are going to Mobile Tech. Mm-hmm. And then me and Dane and Jimmy are taking our own voyage and going to go visit Matt at Obsessed Garage. Hopefully he's done at that house by then. Gosh, I feel like
you never know.
I think that's what's going to happen is we're going to show up to Lady Lake, right? That's where
no one's going to be there.
Nobody's going to be there. I'm going to pull up and be, hey, where's Matt? He's not here.
He's still over at.
He's at Adams, and I go, okay, well, they're like, you can go over there if you want. I'm like, well, how far is it? I said, what's an hour? 30 minutes?
Something like that.
I don't know. So I'll figure that out.
You guys can say, screw this, we're going to Disney World.
I could also say that. I'm going to go visit my other sister, right? Go do that. But no, we're going to do that and then go visit another one of our friends, Mr. Tavares over there. We're going to go do that and go shoot some fun content. So going to be a busy here next month or so, and then it's TRC and Crunch time. So with that said, let's get into some detailing questions.
A lot of stuff.
It was a lot.
We are going to say this. I want to preface this for everybody. Sales? Should we talk about that?
No, there's nothing to talk about.
We don't have anything coming up yet.
Nothing.
The biggest thing is watching for the new Grandmaster crop.
Watching for the new Grandmaster crop, and just keep in mind, right, that Valentine's Day is around the corner.
It's going to come quick.
It creeps up. It creeps up.
To save your money for those that you love to splurge on them, maybe.
Like the thing is I like to think that towels are just as important as chocolates around Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Specifically around Valentine's Day. Cleanup. For just all sorts of different things.
Let's get into this comments here. We got Kenneth Bergman. What is the difference between powder coating rims and a ceramic coating? And ceramic coating them. Not sure which way to go.
So, two entirely different things.
Totally different.
At least what is most commonly referred. Powder coating is literally it's a color changing process. It is just like a paint, except you're spraying on essentially a dry powder that is electromagnetically charged to stick to a metal surface, and then from there it is baked on to essentially melt that powder and form a beautiful hard paint-like coating. And then a ceramic coating is going to be what we sell here, which is going to be your chemical resistant, your easy to clean, your brake dust repelling style of ceramic coating that is going to be applied to your wheel over the top of the color, the paint, or
the powder coat.
The powder coat, whatever you're putting it over.
Blow your mind.
And it will protect that. So basically you could powder coat your rims, powder coat your wheels, change the color, do whatever you want to do, and then ceramic coat them to keep that powder coat looking nice for many years to come.
There you go. Dan Pfeiffer with a good afternoon and a word up from Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve and welcome to the 2024 TRC crew. Got my wolf packs today. Thanks. You're welcome, man.
Nice.
Happy 2024 to you too, man. Dino with a hello, boys and girls. How are you all? Just wanted to say hi and get back to work. Peace out.
Okay.
And then Super Auto Al saying Happy New Year to all. And then replying what you wrote, powder coating is a method of painting the wheels. You can then ceramic coat them if you want to protect that powder coated finish. And Humberto with a healthy and happy new year to the TRC team. And then he also says that he loves Coke Chemi Motorplast as well as his clients do. Very nice. And then Joey Belinsky, happy Thursday, TRC fam, and everyone in the chat. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Joey.
Appreciate that.
Tonight's a new episode of Jack Reacher. Very excited about
Thursday.
that.
It's only Thursday.
Yeah, it's on Thursday nights.
Oh, crap. You're right. It is Thursday nights because we have Percy Jackson, the Olympians, on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we watched both episodes last night.
What do you think?
So we're caught up.
What do you think?
That's good. It was really good.
Good
Kids
show.
loved it.
Kids love it, man. I love it. I'm having a good time.
I am too.
And so I'm excited for this episode of Jack Reacher. I mean, we're going to see where things go.
Realistically, Reacher and Percy Jackson really renewed my faith in television.
Yeah.
And watching just some fun shows.
Right, we kind of timed it correctly. I mean, because this was going to be a very long and dark winter otherwise.
A snowless winter.
We needed something to look forward to. Here we go. We have
Mr. Trollin.
Mr. Trollin says, Happy New Year to the TRC team. Thanks for sharing all of your knowledge and insights via the podcast. Then we have Simon Birch in the house saying a howdy. And then Mr. Luke Berge, one.
Mr. Cruise Ship himself.
Mr. Cruise Ship, Mr. AutoZone, Mr. I guess Bead Maker Hoarder, and Mr.
Well, he's a connoisseur of Eagle blankets.
Connoisseur of Eagle blankets. And I would say pressure washing extraordinaire, right? Or like fall survivor extraordinaire.
True.
Something like that. Says, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Up? And then again, Dane popping in to wish everybody a Happy New Year, saying he's sick at home, but he's going to put to work that new standing desk and walking treadmill that he's got, the portable treadmill for underneath the desk. He'll be walking while he's typing.
He's cruising right now.
Yeah, he's just enjoying it. He's probably got his checking his pulse. Well, he's got an Apple Watch on, so he's probably just looking at his Apple Watch.
So he's cruising.
He might have a cup of coffee.
No, he doesn't have a cup of coffee. You know what he's got right now? He's got a bucked up energy.
Ooh, his friends at Bucked Up.
He's drinking a pump and grind right now, right? That grapple. That grapple drink and just
he really enjoyed that. What most people don't realize is after that show, he pounded that thing.
He did. He shotgunned it.
Yeah.
I said, Dane, slow down.
Like, you don't need to do that.
Super Auto 2K says, Asian beetle flu again. Yes. So that's the other thing that we should talk about. The infestation of Dane's home by the Asian beetles. Little did we know that they actually survive quite well in a very cold climate. And so they're thriving right now outside of his door, still trying to make his way into his home and invading his bed, his massage chair, and everything in between. So
he's got to put a fumigation tent on the house.
I told Dane, I'm like, you're going to start, I said, just bug bomb. He goes, I can't. He's like, I'm still living in there. I said, Dane, people have survived worse. So
that's true. What's the worst cap?
Bug bomb or two will be fine.
Dane says, looks like I can mostly type while I'm on it, so we're in luck.
Nice,
so, ladies and gentlemen,
Dane.
he will be texting and commenting.
He's texting and walking.
And then everybody Stan saying to try the massage chair, and then Dan letting him know, hopefully you'll feel better. Simon saying a get well soon to Dane. And then Alex Dewar saying happy Friday from everyone's favorite. Dane, hope you're feeling better. Levi Anthony, love to see your beautiful faces.
Thank you, Alex. We appreciate you.
And then Simon, let me go back there. Simon with a smash that like button, please, if you guys haven't hit on already, please do.
Humberto saying some hellos. And we got Dane saying can't wait for all the new 2024 goodness coming to TRCMA.
Yes.
Same.
And then Neil White with a Happy New Year, TRC. Dane, hope you feel better. Simon Birch asking if we're going to have a red FTW at TRC.
Keep dreaming.
Yeah.
Maybe. Someday.
Yeah. Alex says, calendar's marked. Let's go. That is something we can let people know is that Alex Dewar will be cleaning the floors
I believe
for TRCMA.
So. I believe so. I believe he will be running the floor cleaner at some point in time. So I believe
Look
we still
forward to that.
do we still have the Canadian stickers on there?
Oh yeah, it's still fully wrapped.
It's still fully wrapped, but like
yeah.
I feel like some of the other vinyls that we put on kind of fell off with time, and it was probably because we were cleaning the floor with Green Start full strength.
Yeah.
Just try to kill the
Floors
black.
look great.
To try to kill the black mold underneath our Swiss Tracks flooring. I'm kidding, but seriously, moving on. The Rad Company podcast says 2024 resolution number 1 is to stop being sick for Dane Hennon. I'm sure that applies to many other people because I know what it was like to have been sick for like a month and a half. That sucked. I don't want to do that again. There's other people that have been sick. Other people have been avoiding it, and just try to stay safe out there. Eat your Vita gummies.
Yeah,
right.
Make sure you eat those.
And make sure to do your daily stretches. Luke Berge says, hope my hotel is booked for TRCMA, bringing the heat for me and doers. Foam to the death.
That'll be a good time. I think that's a halftime show.
So what we're doing, we have that moat out there, that trench. So
it's a canal.
It's a canal, right?
Or as you pronounce it, canal.
What we're planning on doing is giving these boys broomstick handles, right? And we're gonna have them fight out to the death within this trench.
What we're gonna do is 2x4s across it.
Yeah.
And they have to stand on the 2x4s, and the goal is to try and knock the other one into the canal.
Yeah, but they're covered in foam, though, so it's very slippery. Yeah. But I'm just, dude, that would hurt so much.
It's so scratched up. It's all sandstone.
It's all sick old sandstone. Like you would just
it's stepped sandstone.
When you look down, so for people who've never visited TRC, we do have like a small
It's an actual very old, early pioneer canal. Yeah. That has been hewn from sandstone blocks.
But it's been here for probably 100 years? Not 100 years.
It's been here for almost over 100 years.
And you know that because you were here at that time.
I do know that. It's got an actual name. I have to remember the name off the top of my head, but I believe it's the Brumback Canal.
Well, because you know how we have a system of what do we have? What's it called? The water wheels. Yep. The all over town over that side.
And that's the Warm Springs.
I want to say this was around that same time.
It is. Yes.
These were created
so over 100 years ago, and it was to bring water out here.
Yeah.
To what was at one point just farmland.
Yeah, but let me just state though that when you look down there, it really does look like some medieval stuff.
Oh, I took the blocks. When we built our bridge, I took 4 of those blocks, sandstone blocks, and put in front of my house because they're massive.
It looks very medieval. Like when you look down in there, you go, oh man, it's like a moat style.
I'll find a picture of it and the story of it being built, and I'll post it to the group. Dane saying Levi's new biographical series, The Gates Gambit.
Ooh, nice.
Who knows? David Cervantes saying, what's up? What's up, man? Neil Wife's answering your question there, or Neil White. Chess was invented in India, Anthony.
Crap. I was that off?
Yep. And then Dane goes, today I learned Anthony thinks monarchies were invented in England.
Dane, I don't think that. I know that, all right? I mean, listen, I got a little bit of English in me, 1% Scottish.
Yeah.
It's about all I want to be. I mean nothing against that, but I mean, I'm just saying that in general, when I think of chess, I think of just a little British boy, right? With a little accent.
Learn how to play chess.
Really cute, right? And a little I don't know, kind of like a schoolboy type of thing.
Okay.
Playing with his lads, right?
Yeah.
And just laying it down, hitting that timer, and I go, dude, get after it, little Billy.
I would like to see a video of that.
Yeah, there's probably one that exists.
Yeah. Aaron Bowery saying, I live in California, not the Deep South, but the Great White North San Francisco Bay Area. What's some compounds and polishes safe to work in the sun? Mostly overcast, but the sun will pop up now and then. Well, the last cut.
Aaron? Hyper polish plays well in the sun as well, but the last cut really was designed for high heat and sunny environments. It was developed in Las Vegas, Nevada, so check that out. Next up, we have Hans Klosen saying Happy New Year to everybody, and then we got Dane says New Kids in the Crop, Chicken of the Corn prequel.
Children of the Corn prequel.
What did I say?
You said Chicken of the Corn prequel.
I am out of it today. I am not 100% here. I'm pretty tired.
Awesome. Ron with a hello. Hey, Ron, how are you? And then Alex saying, I can't wait to hear the new Grandambassador group. So proud of whoever gets in.
Same here. I think we got a good little bunch here, and there's a couple people specifically that I saw like right off the bat, and I was like, dude, these guys look the part. So the Hairy Housewife, Darren, all the way from across the pond, says, good luck to the new Grandambassadors. Excited to see what's coming. Thank you, Darren, for being here. And then we have
Bergie
Luke
with a new episode of Reacher.
Yep. Luke is also a pretty big guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From one big guy to another. Brian says, guys, I really loved the Polisher ranked video. Such a cool idea with the detailing world. And imagine other versions that could be done like shampoos, ranked coatings, all that. Of course. That's kind of why we started doing this. Was it opened up a bunch of cool doors.
Yep. And Joey Belinsky saying, who let Bergie be a mod?
I think he's been a mod for quite some time.
He has.
Anna
Longfield says, Masters of Air is coming out at the end of the month, 20th something, if you like Band of Brother and or the Pacific. So that's something I want to watch. I'm not sure because I love Band of Brothers. That is one of the shows I can rewatch, and I'm currently in the middle of rewatching it.
Saw it. Yeah.
Because I love it so much. It's such a good series. Pacific, I could not get into the Pacific. And that's the sequel. It's basically Band of Brothers is D-Day and the invasion of Europe by the Allies and goes through the war, and it follows one platoon. And Pacific is kind of the opposite, doing the same thing, following a group of pilots and the Pacific Battalion as it goes over during World War II. But I couldn't get into that series. Really? I wanted to because I love Band of Brothers so much. So I'm leery about Masters of Air because it's basically, this is the third installment. This is talking about a flight team that flies planes. So, yeah. Okay. And it's got Austin Butler, which I like, but I'm, like I said, a little leery.
A little hesitant. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. Ron says, I told Dane that if he didn't feel good, he should feel someone else. That's a good rule to live by there. And then CJ Burns, the wife and I binge watched Reacher over the holidays. I'm totally hooked. That's what we do here at the Rag Company podcast is we bring people into the Reacher fold.
It's funny because so Reacher 2, right? Or whatever. Is that what it's called, Reacher 2? Or is it just called Reacher?
It's just Reacher.
Reacher season 2?
Yeah.
It's funny because would I say that I'm hooked, I'm just thirsting for that next episode? No, but I need to find out what's going on, right? But this is one of those.
You're intrigued.
I'm intrigued. I need to figure out what's happening here because I would also right. It's a case that we're on, right? We're all working this case, right?
Yeah, you're with this. You're part of the special investigators.
Yeah, which I hate that stupid name. I hate that they call themselves the special investigators.
That's their group. It's special investigation team.
I hate that they say you not mess with this. There's so many cheesy lines and cheesy things in the show, but it's like you can't help but keep watching. You have to keep watching. You got to finish it, right? So with that said, if you want to wait until the full show is done and then binge watch it, I think you would enjoy that, right? But for us, we're going episode. We have 2 more episodes left.
We're episodic, yeah.
How many more episodes do we have left? 2, 3,
maybe 4.
Maybe 4. We got to close this case.
Yeah,
that's what we got to do.
Or you can do what I did. Was after the first season, you just start downloading the audiobooks.
No, I'm not going to do that.
And listen to it, and then it's like Reacher's in your head. And I've been detailing for the last literally 2 years.
Yeah,
26 books.
I know, that's just
26 Reacher novels.
Too many.
Starring Jack Reacher.
I know I've
caught up to the writer.
I know it's a quantity over quality thing at that point. They can't all be good.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Some of them are horrible.
Some are horrible.
Some of them are this is hilarious. How did this happen? What is he doing? He just walked into a town and there's a whole it's crazy. So
yeah,
very funny. But I'm thankful everybody's enjoying it. So. Dane, Levi is correct on all fronts. I'm drinking a cup of coffee while 30 minutes into my walk for the next 2 hours and checking on my Apple Watch workout app. See, nice, I know Dane. I know what he's doing.
Dane, remember, powder up, right? Avoid the chafing.
Oh, there we go here.
Dane
says, but I got my water in my flask too because I would be irresponsible not to.
Yep.
Staying hydrated. Alex G, best method products to remove or clean concrete dust off of a work truck. Ooh, Alex G. So there are a number of products out there. If you just type in how to remove concrete dust, there are a number of products that you can buy that are safe for your paint surface, your glass, all that stuff. However, you got to be careful because when you're spraying those products, they have to try and make them safe enough that they're not going to damage your car either. So there are tendencies in which you may not be able to get everything off. So you might have to buy a few, 4 or 5 of those things to get that, to continually soak that. You may have to kill a bottle on the vehicle, rinse it, wash it, put another bottle on, but know that whatever you're putting on, you are stripping absolutely every single bit of protection that is on the vehicle. So you are going to have to need to reprotect it. Now, the old school way of getting rid of concrete was using muriatic acid and using that on a vehicle. The only problem was you needed to do it in an area that didn't have concrete below it because all that muriatic acid would run off and it would absolutely destroy, because that's what it does, is eat concrete. So you'd have to be on asphalt. You'd want to be on grass, or you kill your grass, or gravel to spray this on. And you wouldn't want to spray it on your glass. You're only spraying it on your paintwork. And you want to wear gloves while you're doing it, and a mask and a whole bunch of stuff. So be careful, but there are some consumer-friendly products that you can utilize to put on your vehicle that you can wash off. I literally just had a friend reach out to me the other day and ask that same question. So good on you. Luke Berge held Dane at trigger point till he made me a mod. Didn't want to feel the wrath of that blue bead maker.
It's true.
And then Super Auto reminding everybody there's 57 people watching this stream, but 7 of you have given likes. So please,
it's kind of crazy,
give us
right?
a thumbs up.
50-something people. If you guys all click that'd be wonderful.
That'd be sweet.
Simon Birch says, I will keep dreaming of a red or black FTW. Yeah, just keep dreaming. Dane reminding people that we have Simon that says, you guys got some nice gifts from Santa? ?
We all got some nice stuff, I think, for our Christmases.
Is that a question?
I think it's a question.
What's the winky face going on there? What's that insinuating?
I don't know
what that means.
Maybe he's just saying that.
And then he says he finally got a good proper Chicago deep dish. Form.
And oh
boy, I know a lot says it's not pizza, but it's so good.
I know a lot of you say it's not pizza.
Oh.
He's talking about building a deep dish Chicago style pizza.
Yeah, I mean it's like a salad at that point. Like
Speaking of Carly, if you're listening, we should get Chicago Connection tonight.
Oh, it's just pure cheese.
So good.
It's not good.
It is so good.
Not good. Not a good pizza place.
Luke Berge says, "Yo, I'm gonna win this. Dewar doesn't stand a chance." Yeah, Luke's got balance on his side.
He does.
Joey Belinsky says San Francisco Bay Area is absolutely the Deep South.
Chicken.
Joey, chicken of the corn.
Oh, crap. It's been a long one already.
And a long field laughing.
Yeah.
Alex with the chicken of the corn prequel from Dane's Rotisserie Rack.
Chicken of... Like, what came first, the chicken or the corn?
And then Dane with that's a chicken and the biscuits filthy cousin.
Oh, man.
Chicken of the corn. And then Tony Themis, do you guys need any special connectors to sister a tank to the Husky Silent Flow, and how often do you drain your tank? So Tony, this is a great question. So I just had to move my sister tanks around. So I just had, you guys don't know this, but I just had a wash sink and a utility sink put in the MOSHQ, and it was right where all my friend Keith.
What's his business called?
It's a great little business. First Choice Plumbing.
First Choice, there you go.
And he came and installed that, so I got hot and cold running water, and he put a spigot out just right next to the wall for the pressure washer to hook up outside the garage. But I had to put everything back together. So I placed a tank, then I placed my Husky Silent Flow in front of it. Mm-hmm. Then I mounted my manifold up on the wall, which is the old TRC manifold.
Yeah.
I took home and re-engineered it, put it all back up there. Then I ran my third tank on the other side of my workbenches and my shelving units, all the way down pretty much to the corner of the wall. So now I've got my 3 tanks. So I got one long hose, hooked it into the tank at the far end, ran it in and up into the manifold.
Okay, it's kind of confusing, yes. But
right, so it goes right into the manifold. Okay. Then I ran one tank up and into the manifold. And then I ran the other tank up and into the manifold. In the manifold has 3 ports, 3 T's, right? They're all linked together. Then they go up and they go into a filter. Right?
I'm with you, kind of.
Right. Well, it goes down and into a filter.
Right.
And then at the bottom, plugged into the next line, is the actual air line.
A lot of lines. This is so many lines.
But that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Now, the other way is that the Husky Sound Flow has 2 ports, right? Yours has 2 ports on the front.
Correct.
So you can literally plug one hose into the other tank and run the gun, your air gun, off the other hose.
Yeah.
The other port. That's the simplest, easiest way. And when you go to drain your tanks, you just literally open up the valves when you're done. When you turn everything off and you want to drain your tanks, you either pop the pins to let the air out, which lets the air out. And when the air's done, you can open the valves and drain the tanks, or you just open the valves and drain the tanks. And you leave them open until you get ready to start, turn everything on again, close the tanks, and go from there. When I opened up my 2 sister tanks, there wasn't hardly any water in either tank. But my main Husky Silent Flow had the most liquid in it.
Yeah. I have not sistered anything to my tank, but I will say that I run my, I don't have 100 feet of hose. I don't know what I have. I think it's 100.
You've got a lot of hose.
It's a ton of hose. I got a ton of hose, man. I think it's 100 feet, honestly. Yeah. And I have that mounted on my wall mount, right, where I have my little rotating Husky, thing there. And I just recently, because I was really tired, what I have is my green Husky hose, right, 100 feet of it. That is on my reel, but my reel is what has an airline going into that as well, right? So that reel had this blue hose that came with my, it was like a 25-footer, but it was all coiled up, it looked hideous. So I bought a shorter, I think like a 5-footer or whatever it was, just a kind of a gray hose just to connect it from there to there. Now, what I did not realize is that when I go to turn my reel, right, that hose is binding up. It's not spinning. Like, there's no extra spinning thing in there. Now, with that said, I've used it enough now to where I've worn through. It's created its own swivel-like thing, and I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but I'm rolling with it, and it feels pretty good. I also got some kind of 360-degree little, adapters and stuff like that to make things easy to use. But anyways.
But it's not hard. The easiest is just, like I said, on the Husky Sound Flow, it's got 2 ports. You can literally hook one of the ports to another air tank and blow out of the other one.
Yeah.
That's literally it. So it's very simple. But I built a little PVC, got a bunch of PVC pipe, glued it together, bought the glue, bought all the pieces, and you can build this at Home Depot. You can get 3-foot sections of PVC and the cutter, and you just cut the tubes, sand them up, glue them together, and build your little unit and put in your filter and all the stuff that you want to do. It's super easy to do. It's just taking a little bit of time and building it and then putting some clamps and drilling it into the wall. So go for it. Cool. Mazel the Gazelle saying 2024 fitness challenge TRC boys.
I don't think so.
We'll probably just lose some weight on our own.
We literally got banned from doing anything that was UK cut related due to our lack of.
Because we didn't really do anything last time. So.
Dane says he loved the Band of Brothers, but disagree with him on the Pacific because I love that one too. Probably because my grandpa was a communication cable installer, island hopping in the Pacific during World War II.
Yeah. See, and Dane, like I said, it's not that I didn't love it. I just never got into it. It didn't capture me the way that Band of Brothers did.
Dane was more invested because he saw that and he goes, "That's my family there."
That's what his family did.
That's what my family did. Yeah. And see, my grandfather. Context to that.
So what people don't know is my grandfather. Was in the Army, and he was an MP. Yeah, and he was part of the Special Investigators Unit. That's why I'm such a big fan of Reacher, because he's an MP, just like my grandfather was.
He wasn't part of the
my dad and my uncles.
It's not a real thing.
My grandpa used to give him his MP helmet, and that's what they would race around in go-karts. That was what they used as their crash helmet, was his old MP helmet.
That's kind of,
probably wouldn't have survived a crash on the go-kart, but that's what they did. They'd go, and the other thing my dad said, my grandpa would take him out to the Air Force or to the base, the Army base here, to Gowan Field.
It's an Air Force base.
Yeah. And they would go drive around on the go-karts out there.
Okay. So, what does that have to do with any of this?
I don't know. It's just crazy that that's what they used to do. That's all. I'm just saying. It's wild. Gotcha. Anyway.
All right. Moving on here. We've got Anna that says, the Masters of Air is more like Pacific. They're following the Army Air Corps through the Europe theater. Pacific isn't my favorite. Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. And then, I don't know about you guys, big fan of Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, I watched that too the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. Good
Love
movie.
that movie. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Dane says climbing trees and installing poles to bridge communications in hot zones. Pretty crazy stuff. That's why Dane is such a big fanatic about climbing trees. He every time we see a tree, he climbs it.
It's in his blood, right?
Yeah. It is. Most people don't know this.
Why he installs
He goes out here and he climbs the trees.
He's got those spiked shoes.
Yeah.
And I say, what do you have those for? He goes, just in case we lose communication.
Yeah.
I said, that's very crazy, but very kind of him. The Bearded Hunter says, what is up, my dudes? Hope your Thursday is going great.
Thank you, man.
It is going fantastic. Thank you, Hunter. Ron Ayo says, have you seen Oppenheimer? I haven't still
We haven't.
yet to
Anthony
see
and
that.
I have not yet seen it. Dane has, but we have not.
It's not that I don't want to. There is a very specific reason why I want to, but it's a very long movie. Mm-hmm. Very long.
Yeah, I want to see it. I haven't watched it yet. Carly and I keep talking about it. We might go do it upstairs in our theater. Watch it, rent it, and watch it up there. It's just because I got a bigger screen up there.
Dane told me, he's like, hey, you're gonna really like it, but you're gonna, you got to be in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. And I said, all right, I'll see what maybe have myself a couple of these caffeinated ice drinks, right?
Yeah, these little I haven't even cracked mine.
Well,
so next day, Nate, I was like, I need a soda for the show. Anybody want anything? You were grabbing lunch. Mm-hmm. I had a break in between my meetings, so he goes, yeah, give me a caffeine. Give me one of those the ice caffeine sparkling. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And thankfully there was a can in the trash. Yeah. And I was able to take a picture of it. Mm-hmm. And so then I went and they had them. So I thought, well, try them, buy them. Yeah. See, so I bought 2 reds and a purple.
Try it. See what you think.
Black raspberry flavor.
See what you think. I think you might like it.
I'm a fan. Oh, that is delightful.
Isn't that very good, right?
That's really good.
It's only got 70 milligrams of caffeine, so it's just about like about as much as about a can of Mountain Dew, right? Which Luke Berge knows all about. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
it's
I like that.
And it's good for you.
It's a nice change up.
What I like about it, it's got antioxidants in there, right? And it's got vitamins.
Oh.
Keep you going.
I can taste the vitamins in it.
Yeah, keep you going. But no, I'll see Oppenheimer eventually. Crack open a can of these and maybe a jar of pickles. Get to watch it.
There you go.
Rag Company says, Tony, I've been walking on the treadmill at my desk since before the stream started, and I won't stop until it's over.
Attaboy, Dane. Attaboy. Get it.
Poor Dane is like feet are bleeding. And it's just like, I gotta stop. I can't stop.
And it looks like Anna was replying to Ron saying, yes, it was a birthday date with my partner.
Nice. Sounds fun.
Then Hunter saying hello to Umberto. LHF says, we all know Dane's not really sick. He's home cruising the interwebs for a new forever car.
He's probably not doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I don't think he needed to be sick to do that.
Darren said, all those who haven't tried Rip Rags yet, Rip-In Rags, they are legit. Something I didn't know I needed until I got them. Got guys in the UK waiting for them to come in stock at the UK TRC. Agreed, Darren. Nice. You get a Rip-In Rag, dude. I mean, those towels are they're a lifesaver. They really are. Dane says, I wish that was true, LHF, but I'm couching and sniffling while working up a sweat on this walk.
Oh, boy, Dane. I'm proud of you for walking.
Heck yeah, man.
Aaron saying, I was looking up some hyper polish, only found 10 or 13-year-old videos. Any chance you'll have some updated videos highlighting the product?
We probably should.
That is a great question, and we probably should do that because it is one of the best. Still one of the GOATs.
Still one of the best, dude.
It's an amazing product. I literally had a meeting with Dr. G today about TRCMA, and we brought that up.
How about we do that? How about let's put that on the docket?
Yeah,
that
make a video.
Revise some of the optimum GOATs, right? And especially for the people. So there's people, again, for us, we continued using it for the last 7 years, right? There's people that are just getting a detailing who go, man, I wish there was a polish out there that was easy to use and doesn't stain trim and, all that stuff. And we go, there is. Haven't you heard of it? And they go, no, because there's no content on it.
Right. Yeah. That's a good idea. I like it. Thank you, Aaron, for that. We'll get on it. Joey saying, I see Radiance is available on the site. How much are you guys using in your Canon bucket realistically? 6 ounces per gallon seems like a good time, though. So that's a lot, Joey.
Yeah. I had no idea that we even had it on the website.
No, we didn't know about it.
Surprise!
Hey!
Wow,
Yeah,
I wish we had some content lined
It's
up.
we will
always a
say this:
surprise.
Radiance is a good product. We have tested it. We have used it. We just didn't know it was already available on the site.
Radiance, so we've used Radiance since last year.
Yeah.
When the very original, very first formula was brought over to us. Essentially, Radiance has been around for many years. But this was another situation where it was in PNS's, what do they call it?
It was their
back room.
catalog. It's
No,
in their,
it was
Sydney
makes this joke that there's like a back room at PNS where she goes and finds a bunch of chemicals.
So what it is there is a you got to remember, PNS makes like 600 products.
I think it's like 300.
It's still a lot.
Quite a bit.
The point is, though, they have things broken
Maybe it's
in.
200.
They have things broken into like their car wash stuff lines, their detail facility lines, like high use chemicals, and then they go into like their professional series, and then they go into double black.
Yeah.
And so everything's kind of broken in. And if you recall, Breakbuster was
part of the
a part of their
professional
line. Clarity Cream was a part of their line. The problem was they weren't named Breakbuster. They weren't named Clarity Cream. They were given a code name like C7342.
I think Breakbuster was called Breakbuster. Anyway.
I know, but I'm just saying for this example, these products were there, but they never were talked about. They were never highlighted. And so you get your hands on some of these products and you go, what in the world? This is insane. What is this? And then Dave looks in what he built and he goes, oh, this is what it does, what everything is inside of it. And you're like, how long did you have that? And he's like, oh, it looks like I made it 15 years ago. And you're like, wait, what? You had that chemistry and that product back then, or that tool? And no one knew. And he's like, yeah, we made it. It's been a great seller for folks in this industry.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit this online boutique kind of store style. So,
but for what it's worth, though, Radiance, we started using it, I think it was actually over a year ago for what it was worth. And when it was first brought to us, Sydney was actually one that brought over the gallon. And then we started playing with it. She goes, we need to get this over into, I guess more of a consumer
friendly version,
because Radiance was only available in the gallon size, and so they got it now down into the 32-ounce size, which is nice, and gallons as well. But what it needed was a little bit of rebranding, a little bit of formula tweaking as well, because
they changed the polymers, the solids that they use in Inspiration.
Correct.
They wanted to put into Radiance because those were an older blend of polymers. Well, newer products.
Well, then there's that, but then there's the fact that once they made some tweaks like that, the product didn't foam as well, so then they had to make it foam better, right? So because people want a foam product. So, Radiance, again, bucket washes, it's amazing. It will foam in a foam cannon now. It smells amazing. I love the smell of that kind of grape, that grapple grape. It's like, not grapple, it's more like grape. Great scent, and the price point is still pretty nice. And so it's a thicker soap than Pearl substantially. I mean, it's a much thicker soap than Pearl. It's a fantastic product. We're really excited to have it. We just had no idea that they launched it on the website. So that's pretty cool. So nice surprise for us and you. Next up here, Luke says, Anthony, when the heck are you getting the trigger spray replacements? Luke, we had that conversation last week with John here at TRC, and he went, yep, that's something we are going to get here soon.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, they're on order as far as I know. Spencer.
Man, some of these people in these detailing groups just don't understand that you can pre-rinse a vehicle before a rinseless wash. Got into trouble for some of my language. Yeah, I saw that today, Spencer. That was great. He posted some pictures of a dirty car in some of the groups, and on Facebook, and said, I'm going to rinseless wash this. And people were like, whoa. Everybody lost their minds. But of course, a lot of people don't get that you can pressure wash a car and just replace soap with a rinseless wash.
You can make your own rules.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
In Focus says, Ivan says you can make a sugar water mix of a bit thicker and put it on the concrete in the car and it will remove it after letting it sit for a while. Okay. I cannot confirm nor deny that. I don't know what that. I've never done sugar and water.
It's $10.
Yeah, Ron, $10. The super chat. Thank you, Ron.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Aaron says, bring back the Drago for Valentine's Day and bundle the pink FTW for a nice present. Oh, we wish.
Nice present.
We wish. Dabbler Details saying, hello, gentlemen. Happy New Year.
What's going on, dude? And We have Joey Belinsky says, we need updated garage tours. Any plans for those videos?
We might. Anthony and I have been kind of cleaning up our garages, so
Done
we
a
might do
couple
that.
things.
I've thrown out the question of throwing out and going to my dad's shop and getting a couple of his garage tours because he's got 2 of them. And you can kind of see the garage that I grew up in. Maybe we'll bust out the old Milwaukee on there, and then see his current garage as he's updated, just kind of what I've kind of gotten into. The other idea is just some of the other folks that are friends of ours. We've been talking about trying to get into their garages and hitting up some of those spaces. So, like my buddy Wayne, that'd be a fun little garage. Go see all his little motorcycles.
Yeah, that'd be a really fun one. Joey, we'll get to something updated wise, because we know Gabe's garage is due.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We've all been kind of doing some little updates, so that'd be kind of good to get some of those, as well as it is a series we need to get back into the habit of doing. Dane says, agreed, Joey. He knows that he is at least going to get a couple while he's down in Florida this February. And then Mazel, the Gazelle. Speaking of garage tours, I know you have an expected quality, but it would be fun to try and do those remote ones like we talked about. It would be, actually. I still think that's a doable version that we could do. So then Joey telling Alex that he got some ripping rags. And then
Alex got GFX for Christmas. He said, my goodness, the scent. I know.
So good. So good. Oh, Alex. Yeah, I missed that one. Sorry. And then Spencer, either one of you have an Ego snowblower. I just picked one up and oh my gosh, it makes me want more Ego tools. We haven't any snow, Spencer.
Not any.
To use those.
Like none.
Tools.
I don't think we're getting. Are we
back in
getting
the
any?
day, it used to snow all the time here in Boise. All the time.
All the time.
It was we used to say we get all 4 seasons.
My high school years were pretty snowy.
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't get that anymore. 7 years ago, yesterday, guess what was happening?
The snowpocalypse?
Yep. 7
I know, but that was
years
a
ago.
that was a
freak storm. That was
a freak thing.
Most insane amount of snow we'd received in almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm. I loved it. That was a good time. Mm-hmm. Scary, but fun.
Remember, you couldn't get out of your driveway.
I couldn't even leave.
Aaron saying, Joey, can we agree Sacramento is closer to Antarctica than to San Francisco? I probably would agree that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Joey saying we can go with that. And Dane replying to Tony, you mean like having the person whose garage is do the tour recording and send it? Yes, Dane, that is correct. Joey, podcast, 480p vertical video coming right up. It's not what we want. Mazel saying, yes, you could even still have Anthony ask the questions via FaceTime or something.
Oh, that's true.
We could do something like that. And then Luke saying, for those of us that want to use the coconut earth combo like Joey posted about, can you use Mata on normal non-matte paint?
Yes. All day long.
So, Luke, remember, that is something I created. Coconut earth.
Yes, of course.
Not Anthony.
No, it was
not Joey.
Joey technically created it.
Okay, well, he's the one that gave me the hint, but I'm the one that actually put it together.
Yes, of course.
Yes. No, but yeah, Luke, you totally can. Mata is a clean paint, or clean soap, meaning it's only a pH neutral soap. It's to clean surfaces. It doesn't have any brighteners or glossifiers in it. Yeah. If that's what you're wondering, because Bubbler has a glossifier in it. So Dane saying, what in the world? I've seen Oppenheimer twice and loved it. It doesn't feel nearly as long as its runtime suggests. So Dane, Anthony and I have children.
Yeah, Dane.
That's how we don't get to see movies all the time.
I mean,
just so you know. I mean, I don't know if that's...
I can watch movies whenever I want. It's just
at home.
I have to start at like 11 p.m.
or
10
we
p.m.
watch them over a couple times of like, you watch like an hour one night, and then the next night you watch it, and then the next one you watch. So it might take us 3 days to watch a show.
Yeah.
So
no, and Neil says skip Oppenheimer and watch Godzilla -1. Neil, I've seen it. I saw it with Dane. Fantastic movie.
Carly and I still keep talking. We want to go see it.
Definitely go and see it again. Good time. And then Joey says Right Could Be podcast.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
And then Dane says, but I agree Godzilla -1 is worth a theater trip if you can still find it. Anna Longfield says, Saving Private Ryan is the reason we have all those series. It inspired Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg to produce those series. You're right, Anna. That is correct. Yep. You didn't know that? That was why. He started that whole campaign to create that stuff and interview all those guys before they all passed as the
That's
greatest
pretty cool.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron reminding everyone that's watching, take a second, go click that like button. Anthony and I are going to wait here while you guys do that. If you could it's right below there. Just push the button, the thumbs up.
Stop talking to give you a moment just to find it.
Just the thumbs up. That way you don't miss anything.
Brief moment here.
Hit that button.
Perfect. Thank you. Luke Berge says, Oppenheimer, you need a good sound system to appreciate it. Okay, I can see that.
And then Alex saying, Dane, what Brooks are you rocking on that treadmill? Which ones did you choose today, Dane? That's the question. And then Dane says, Luke, the soundtrack in Oppenheimer goes crazy on a good sound system. Good thing I'm running that full Yamaha theater system.
Are you still running that?
5.1. It's 7 years old now.
You're running that?
6 years old.
Oh, gosh, I can't believe it's been that long.
I know. I remember when I bought it, I was like, this is going to be sweet, upgradable. I'm going to maybe upgrade in a couple of years. It's been 6 years. I haven't touched it.
And it's still doing the job.
I think some of the plastic's still on it.
So I have a Vizio surround sound unit, right? But it's attached to my racing simulator.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I enjoy most of my movies. I'm sitting down with a steering wheel in front of me. And
well, so the TV, in the theater, I've got the Yamaha. In the main part of the house, we're running the Vizio, just the sound bar with the sub in the living room. Yeah. In the TV in the garage is just the TV in the garage. And then the TV in our bedroom is just the TV in our bedroom. Yeah. But I'd like to add a nice sound system to the TV in the bedroom. So I can get more immersed. When the kids are in bed and I'm laying in bed watching a movie, I can be enjoying myself that way. Dane says he's rocking the Brooks running Caldera 6s in orange. Very nice.
All right,
That's a good shoe for off-road adventures.
It is.
Joey says the label says 6 ounces per gallon. Don't look at me funny.
No, it literally does say that.
It's a lot, yeah.
We know it does say that, and you can use all 6 ounces if you want to. We find that we've used like half of that and still had fantastic results. But yeah, I think that's literally what Dave said that's what it comes out to. So yeah.
And Dane replying to Anna that there's a fantastic limited documentary series on Netflix called 5 Came Back that was produced by Spielberg as well. He watched it while fluing it up this weekend. And the Mark Stone, does the 30-count Rip-N Rags fit on a conventional paper towel holder?
If it's an upright holder, yes. If it's
sideways
holder, it's going to be a little bit too long unless it's got some like flex to it to be able to fit that.
And then Ken saying, what is the difference between powder coating ribs and ceramic coating? I'm not sure which way to go. Ken, we just answered that.
We answered that at the very beginning of the podcast. Go back.
A couple times, bud. And then everybody replying for that. So appreciate it. So check that out.
Dane, thank you for clapping.
Dane
appreciate
clapping
that.
for Ron's super chat. Very nice. And then we are on page 1. Holy cow. Liam saying, hopefully this is okay to ask. I got your clay scrubbers yesterday. How long do they typically last? As in, I suppose the clay will break down over time. So those clay scrubbers, if cared for, meaning that you clean them and you wash them out with just water and, when they get dirty on the clay surface, you spray a little APC, you scrub it with your hand, you rinse it out and wring it out and dry it. That'll last you up to 100 uses.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can use each one 100 times.
Yeah.
Now, if it's heavy clay or you mix in like a tar and glue remover or you use a lot of iron removers with it, then you're going to lower that number from 100. But you're still going to get at least a minimum of 50 uses when you really beat them up.
Yeah, I mean, they last quite some time. But I mean,
very hard
for the price and the fact that you get 2 in the pack. I mean, it's a killer deal. I don't think you can beat it. Joey says, y'all keep teasing Gabe's garage. We just want to see it already. It's pretty nice. I mean, we've obviously showed you a couple teases of it in some videos, but we need to show you the full thing. Yeah. Jamie the Cleaner says, hello, TRC. Shout out to all the eaglets out there.
What's up, man? How are you? And then Joey Valinsky saying, Coach. And David Boyce saying, for the new year, how about some teal pearl pucks and purple 1500 drying towels? Ooh, those are some neat color ideas.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Then Rick Smith with since everyone loves the GFX Christmas scent, why hasn't someone done an interior cleaner for the holidays? Someone's missing the boat. Well, that'd be get everybody in the mood for Christmas, I see.
That's true. That's true. Well, Adams does their quick detailers and stuff like that. I know they do a lot of cinnamon and Christmassy stuff, but I mean, yeah, that would have been a cool one for Coach County to release with that particular scent. So we'll see in the future. Super Auto 2 cases. JTC, have you seen the size?
Have you been sized?
Have you been sized for your New Grand Ambassador Championship belt yet? That's funny. And then we have Luke Berge. It says,
just so you know, it's made out of cardboard.
It's not. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty janky forever. Who wears this belt? I'm sorry about that. Luke Berge says one of our Ego batteries almost completely blew up in our garage. Haven't been much of an Ego fan since. Luke, what the heck?
Yeah, you got to tell us more about that story.
How did
Luke.
it happen? What do you do?
That's great. Dane says they brought in the National Guard to help Boise and Meridian residents out of the snow because our district sold all of our snow equipment. We literally did because we didn't have that much snow, so we sold all of our snow plows. We had 30 snow plows, sold them all except for 2 of them.
Yep.
And then literally 3 weeks later, largest record snowfall of the previous 40 years.
Yeah.
Dumped
crazy.
snow. And people were stuck. I, however, lived on a primary street because I am a Boise resident.
Yeah.
I live on Boise Avenue.
Yeah.
And that road always cleaned and plowed. However, every time the snow plowed go by, bury my car.
Yeah, no, my subdivision I lived in at that time was forgotten about. Literally forgotten about.
Nobody came down.
Nobody came to help us. And so there was literally
You guys were
people,
left to die.
Like, I don't want to say like snowed in, but like
Straight up.
What happened was that the snow had come, and then this is so
Sub-zero.
This is so dumb. You look at your neighbors and you go, what are you doing right now? And because it was sub-zero temperatures. So they were taking the snow from their driveways, right? And from even parts of their sidewalk, right? Because they wanted to clear the sidewalk and the driveways and part of their lawn or whatever the heck else they wanted to do. And they were shoveling it into the street. And I'm watching them shovel it
Everybody
into the street.
shoveled it into the street.
And I go, why are you shoveling that into the street, right? So then some passerby would be driving down through a street, right, going off-roading, and then they would drive, create ruts. The ruts would freeze, and now we had ruts that were literally...
They were like train tracks.
They were 2.5 feet tall, frozen, like completely frozen ruts that will destroy your front bumper. I'm talking they'll take your front bumper right off. You couldn't even drive over them. And so they did that, and it was just laughable because they're like, what is everybody thinking? Why are my neighbors so dumb? And I literally was telling, what are you guys doing? Well, it's either in the street or it's going to cause a slip hazard for me. And I go, yeah, shovel it into your lawn, your grass, anywhere. Well, I don't want my grass to die.
Okay, die anyway.
It's going to die.
Already dead.
It's already
dormant.
dead, dude. So people were dumb, man. And that happened, and that was a pretty tough situation. And there was a hero on my street, though, right? He was it's my cul-de-sac that I was in, or whatever you want to call it. No, he had this Dodge Ram 3500, right? And he had chains on the back of his thing, and he was just pulling people out and through the neighborhood. He's like, oh, you want to go to work? Cool. I'm going to pull you out to the entrance. And what time are you going to be back here? About 6:30,
I'll be waiting.
6:25. Cool. I'll be over there and I'll pull you back in. That's all this guy did. He was a retired dude with a big old truck. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Our house we had only same as you, just like Boise Avenue. Everything behind us was completely torn up and chewed up.
Apocalyptic wasteland.
Yeah, you couldn't I remember I went to Fred Meyer's and I was in the Elantra and I'd put my snow tires on, so it was like a little mountain goat.
Yeah.
Little car was getting it done.
The Elantra literally is a little mountain goat.
Yeah, it got it done. And I remember I was coming back and I turned the corner and I got stuck in one of those ruts. Like I went to turn and all of a sudden the car like drove up and then was like
Yeah.
and high centered itself in literally what were another vehicle's ruts.
Yeah.
And it just sat there and the tires were spinning and I couldn't move. And I was like, oh no. Yep. And thankfully my buddy lived down the street and I called him and I said, you got your Ford van? And he's like, yeah. And that's what he had been driving because he couldn't drive any of his cars. Yeah. So he hooked a chain up and yanked me free so that I could get the wheels going again. But I remember just sawing that wheel back and forth. And those little studded snow tires just spinning as it's just chewing its way back to the house.
Do you know how many floor mats I saw on the ground from people who got stuck? Yes. So like the trick was to take your floor mats out and throw it so your tires can grab traction. So you're just driving around your neighborhood. There's all these floor mats all over.
There's floor mats everywhere because there was no de-icer. Yeah. All the de-icer had been sold out, everything. So everybody, I think this is a good little spot to stop. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Go get yourself a drink.
us off-road.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday, where we're here to answer your detailing questions, give you guys some life advice, hang out, and talk about explosive batteries. So we have Dane popping in here, taking us off with they brought in the National Guard, to help us with our snowstorm issue that we were talking about previously.
That's when we had our big snowpocalypse here.
Yep, and then we have Neil White here that says, Luke Brady, how did your battery explode? We're all just dying to find out. Yep. Joey Blinsky says the Rick Smith Adams usually does those. Yep, correct, like for interior sprays.
And Al saying, created by Levi, loved and endorsed by Anthony. That's how we do a lot of the stuff here.
Yes, something like that, yes.
Rick Smith says, Joey Blinsky, I guess I missed it. I don't really use Adams products. And then Anna says, pushed early. Luke says, Neil, it was charging on the charger, and it started smelling kind of like fire, and the whole thing was blowing out of the casing.
Oh, my God, Luke.
Holy cow.
Jeez.
Ron saying, we're supposed to get our first measurable snow on Sunday. I pulled the snowblower out of the shed. I'm going to rinse, wash it, and ceramic coat it. I ceramic coated it in 2022. Oh, it should be ready to rock and roll then. Then Neil asking if it blew up the wall, did burn up the wall. And then Joey says, my Sonos system with the sub rumbles all the way to the driveway. I rarely get to enjoy it that way. Wife thinks it's too loud.
Interesting.
See, Joey, I'm pretty much deaf, so I have been told many times, turn down my phone, turn down the TV, and I am like Grandpa Simpson going, turn it up, because I can't hear.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I have this frequency. I just can't hear certain things.
What do you like about a good surround sound system? Do you like the fact that you're fully immersed with the sound and the little things everywhere, right? Like like the voices, or do you like the rumble in the jungle?
I don't mind the rumble, but I turn my rumble down.
Okay.
So that I can hear the crisp. I like the highs and the lows and the tweets and all that because I can't normally hear that. I think.
I like when you're in a sound system that's able to like throw the sound in different directions. Like for example, like when I go to like the movie theater, right? The one the
Atmos
right?
that you like.
They have the Atmos system, and they go and there's like a part where it goes like Dolby Atmos sound around, or something like sound all around you, or something like that. And it like does like bird tweets, and I literally have to look over my shoulder. I go, was there a bird just flew over my head?
The hard part with me is my dad built his first home theater system in 94. And so I was one of the only kids in my crew that had a surround sound system, a proper surround sound system. And it's one my dad still utilizes today at his house. But that is what, when I first experienced that, it was pretty much sold. Like that, I had to have television, I had to have everything in that surround sound mode. So even when my wife and I were dating and I had 3 televisions like this synced up to each other, we'd watch the same movie on 3 TVs, but I had a low budget surround sound system included in that as well. So I've always had a surround sound system since I was like 14 years old.
So I had the same thing as well.
Yeah. Well, you had a father who valued high-end audio, like my dad.
My Portuguese father, right, who obviously was an entertainment DJ, right, who collected all sorts of different sound gear, and he'd call it gear, right?
Yeah, it's my gear.
Hey, it's my gear. It's my. He always referred to everything as his gear. And so that's how you know he took it seriously, right? That's my gear. Don't touch my gear. Did you touch my buttons on my gear? And I go, no, it's literally a DVD player. That's not just a DVD player.
Yeah, don't change the settings on the DVD player.
So he's pretty weird.
There are
about
no
that kind of
settings.
stuff. But he always had a crazy sound system, right? And it was always something to like try to impress like my Portuguese grandparents, right? So like he would like have the people over, so we'd have like a family movie night. It wasn't really a family movie night. It was just him wanting to turn on some movie that was
cliffhanger,
really loud, and then just make my Portuguese grandparents like be like, "Oh, turn it down, it's too loud," right? Because they'd be very upset. But they do that in Portuguese. So I remember that. So as a child, I was like, "Oh, I'm interested in like having my own surround sound." So he gave me like a boombox, right? Like I think remember when it was normal to have a
like a little desktop unit. It was like a stereo with the 2 speakers.
Yeah, but it was like they got crazy.
They could like slide them apart.
It was like 2 bookshelf speakers, but big bookshelf speakers. And then there was the main unit that had the 2 cassette players, and then I had one that had like the CD changer,
like the 3-disc changer on top.
It was like a 6-disc or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but it like
turntable.
opened up and spun out.
Yeah,
and like did this crazy thing. So you set your CDs in there.
Yeah, and Carly and I had those.
But then it lit up all RGB colors, all these different cool colors, and like these very 90s colors.
I still want one of those.
It was like
I still would take one of those.
They had like the JVC, and then there was like the
Iowa,
AIWA.
Yeah,
and they had
Sony
those.
Was like the high end. If you had a Sony system, you're like, ooh.
But that was a common thing. So like I wasn't just the only teenager that had this. Tons of my friends had these exact same units, just different versions of them. So what I realized is that I could run my my red, white, and yellow. Like run my red and white.
My buddy Stosh did that at his apartment.
Yeah,
first time was he had a big Iowa system like that, and he had it sitting next to his. He had his DVD player. He had that next to his TV.
It was a RCA. So I split my red and yellow, or my red and white out, right? And I split those out, kept my yellow for my video signal, and then I got an RCA splitter, right? Didn't even know that was possible. Then my friend said, "Hey, do you want my sound system? Because like I don't do that anymore. I just got an iPod, and so now I listen to my iPod. I said, "You're an idiot. Give me that." Right? So he gave me his speakers.
Yeah.
So now I sistered all these speakers together and had like this weird like Frankenstein setup. So then my friends would come over.
I used to get speaker wire at like Home Depot.
I did the same
you buy a roll
thing.
of it at Home Depot,
the same thing,
and you could like get it for like $10, and I would cut it, and then I would do the same thing. I'd literally jump all these speakers together.
Yeah, and so
it wasn't great, but it sounded cool.
My mom was like, "So what stereo is running this?" I'm like, "Well, technically it's 2 stereos running these 8 speakers, right?" Because I had like all these speakers. Because then I would go to garage sales, and I was like, I think when I was like 16 or 17, I got these crazy speakers that needed a good amplifier, right? And I was like, "Nah, I'll figure it out with something else, right? Mine will work." So I'm running this underpowered amplifier to these giant speakers. They barely works. Yeah. And then I remember when I was working at Lowe's, there's this guy there who goes, "Hey, Anthony, you're talking about your sound system all the time." And I go, "Yeah, what about it?"
Your junkyard sound system.
So he's like, "You're talking about your sound system all the time." I'm like, "Yeah, what about it?" He goes, "Well, hey man, like I got like this home subwoofer. It's a 12-inch with like a 650 watt amplifier on the back." He goes, "Do you want it?"
Is that the one that you have in your desk?
Yes. Yeah. And he goes, "Do you want to figure out a way to like sister this to your other 2 stereos?" And I go, "Yeah, I do."
Fun fact, Anthony brought that to work and put it in under his desk in his cubicle and hooked it up to his computer speakers. Just normal speakers.
Dude, I had that thing for like 14 years. And
it thumped every time you'd crank it up.
Dude, it would literally shake walls. And so I had the craziest thing. So when I was living in my my college house, right, where we had like a 4-bedroom college house. Every guy had his own room. And I remember we'd have these crazy parties, right? We would have the worst sound system out in the living room playing for these house parties. But then like people would say, "Hey, do you want to go see Anthony's sound system?" This was the only cool thing I had, right? But the thing is the only people interested in it were other guys, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like girls would be like, "Hey, do you want to see something cool?" I'm like, "Not really. I don't want to see your weird speakers," right? And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So then I have like 10 dudes in my room. I'm like, "What Linkin Park song do you want to play?" Or what?
See, for me, it was seeing like Johnny Mnemonic, the movie with Keanu Reeves, and like seeing like Ice-T with all the like screens and all the speakers up, all the different types of speakers, and he's like running a computer and hacking, and I'm like, "Oh, that'd be so cool to have." Cool. But
and for what it's worth, I mean, it didn't really sound all that great, but I mean, I was pretty proud of being able to wire all that crap together.
I've been like, "Dang, how'd you do all this?"
No, and then I remember that my dad came over, right? My Portuguese dad came over to my house. He came up to Idaho, and he's like, "Oh, see your room." And I go and show up my room, and I show him. I say, "Look at this," and he goes, "What kind of janky crap is all this?" And he goes, "These are garbage speakers." And I'm like looking at him like, "But Dad, like you had nice speakers all the time." "Yeah, my stuff was nice." This is like it would be like me going to Matt Mormon and saying like, "Hey man, look at my Sonos system," right? Yeah. And he'd be like, "Sonos? Are you kidding me? It's freaking that's like garbage crap, right?" Which it's not, obviously, but like he would one up me with some other crazy thing. Yeah. So anyways, moving on here.
Dane says, "Heck yeah, Joey, always got to have that beastly sound, so I got a Nakamichi 7.2 Atmos set up downstairs."
You got that Nakamichi, Dane. I forgot about the Nakamichi.
Yep. Yeah. And Joey says, "The Atmos is amazing at home." And then Dane says, "Oh yeah," and like Joey says, "Bring those detailing product technique questions before it's break time." And then everybody thumbs up saying hello. And then Dane, "Even if you don't have a question that's personal to you, think of something you've heard something else recently," which is what we're talking about. And then Will, "Quick question. I just bought the liquidator, but it says I have to pre-wash it before use. Can I soak it in a rinseless wash solution and then let it dry and then use?" You can. Or you can just throw it in the washing machine, man, with just water. You don't have to put soap or anything on it. Just rinse it off. Mark Smith saying, "Just a heads up. Not only should you like this podcast, you should also check and make sure you're subscribed because YouTube has been unsubscribing me 2 times. Oh. 2 times from the TRC now. That's no good, Mark."
Oh, no, Mark.
Dane saying, "Whoa, that's weird. Thanks for the heads up, Mark. Everybody check your TRC subscription status." And then Dane says, "Anthony knows the Snowpocalypse ripped a front splitter off my lowered, not applicable Miata. Lol. Ice block ran through it like a rail gun."
Yep.
And then saying podcast shout out to Quake 3. And then Rick Smith saying, what's the best product to use for neutralizing salt in the winter, both for the paint and the undercarriage? Rick, the biggest thing is just getting a good all-purpose cleaner underneath there, spraying it all and rinsing it. The biggest thing is just rinsing.
Just to get the salt off. Yeah,
getting it off there.
Thing. And just getting it to where, you know, it's you get the car to an unsalted and dry area, basically.
Yeah.
Then, Luke Berge says there's some stories about the snow up in the mountains. Quite literally, when it was light outside, there was no snow. By daylight the next morning, you could hardly see out the windows of the house.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then Sam says, what's up, detailing guys and gals? What's up, Sam? Fred Shamrovich popping in saying hello. What's up, Fred? Neil White saying, hey, Fred, Happy New Year to you. And then further details. Customer has a car that I coated with Diamond Protex Body 36 last year. Has seen a lot of road salt, and the lowers are clogged. I washed it 2 times with active foam and clay toweled, still sheeting. Can I try Opti MDR? You can. The other thing is if you don't have some quick body, you could spray some quick body on those lowers and help bring some of that back, or any other type of sealant or anything to put on the lowers there to help. But the road salt, things like that could have an effect on clogging that area. Anthony's running into that too in some cases. So,
further details. Okay, it says, "Where's something else you recommend?" So we covered that. Fred says, "I have horrible."
Hold on.
Oh,
jumped on me.
Sorry, you jumped. Okay, we have
All right.
Alex. Alex says, "I love life advice and exploding batteries." Me too. Joey says, "Levi, I'm also deaf. I can't hear the TV."
Yeah, that's
without
me
subtitles."
too. I watch all my TVs subtitled.
You guys are crazy.
That's it.
Fred says, "I have horrible tinnitus from my car and working in a shop for too many years."
Mine is air. Mine is literally air and polishers for too many years without hearing protection. Because back in the day, no one told you, hey, you should wear earplugs. And if you did wear earplugs, you'd have your boss yelling at you to take your earplugs out because they're trying to talk to you. So you just never wore earplugs. And it wasn't until the advent of having headphones to put those in and actually do something that made it a lot easier. Joey saying the Sonos does Atmos. It's really wild in your own living room.
Oh, nice. That's pretty sweet.
And then Joey saying, what's your go-to movie scene for showing off your theater system? I've been loving the final battle in Endgame or Obi-Wan and Anakin's lightsaber fight in Return of the Sith. That's a good one. When I was a kid, it would be the Empire Strikes Back when Palpatine lands and comes out and they play the whole Imperial theme.
Yeah.
And you hear Vader's voice and the ships because it's got 2 TIE fighters coming in. And that was what I used to play on my dad's theater. Turn that sucker up.
I think Pearl Harbor is pretty crazy,
one too,
right?
Yeah.
And then also, too, if you really... Speaking of back what we were talking about previously, Saving Private Ryan, at the end, right, where the planes come in and they're on that bridge and the planes fly over and they start bombing that area, that was also a pretty good spot to
My other favorite one, and this is just the romantic in me, is upstairs in our theater. I love when I'm playing the Promontory Ridge part or Promontory, whatever line it is. It's the song in Last of the Mohicans, and they're running through the forest, and it's just the music of that playing. Gives me chills.
It gives you chills. Well, you love The Last Mohicans.
I do love The Last Mohicans. It's one of my top 3 movies.
Yeah, top 3 movies
of my
all
life.
Time. All right, so we have Aurora. Aaron. That's what I said. How many pads do I need if I have a System 4000? Is one of each okay, or should I grab a few more in case of emergency? Yes, I always would have a couple of each pad. Always. At any given time, I probably have 3 or 4 of a certain type of pad. So, for example, like my Rupa's yellow pads, I think right now I'm up to like 9 or 10. I need to start actually blowing through a couple of them. It's nice to have some that you cycle through because you're going to get so much more life out of those pads, regardless if you have the pad washing system or not. Super Auto says sold so many Iowa bookshelf stereos at McDuff Electronics back in the day. Do you know which ones? Like the silver Iowa.
100%, dude. I wanted them.
Like, where could you even find one of those nowadays?
No, they still make them. They still have them at some of the electronic stores. You can still find setups like that. To the point that I was telling Carly, we need to get Hadley one of those style systems.
Do you remember how like your antenna would be just a straw? It's like that
was a
weird
string. Well,
it
piece of metal.
String,
yeah.
But then they gave you a straw to like be able to put it to something or whatever it was.
Yeah, and I found I always had to put it near the window to get the best reception.
Yeah.
So,
listen to my sound system. Let's turn on the radio. Show you this.
H&M Detailing saying, howdy folks, it's Friday Junior when the Rag Company Q&A is on. That's it right now, 8 minutes ago. Rick Smith saying, JB Top Gun Maverick is pretty awesome. That's a good one.
So that wasn't around when I was testing out units. So now, I'm wondering.
Might be able to do that now.
Do that on my sim rig.
That's a good idea.
Then I do a flight simulator. I feel like I'm the real thing.
Meridian Marbit saying, what is the speed break of Diamond Glass? I think it's above 30 miles an hour.
Sounds about right.
My guess. Alex saying, imagine walking into the TRC media studio with Trivium just blasting.
Dude, I would.
Yeah,
I would
good.
do
We've
it,
got just
man.
a couple speakers in here. And then Dane laughing. Cervantes saying, what toolboxes, tool carts do you use? I need one for the garage or possibly to bring to the shop. And I've been eyeballing those Harbor Freight tool carts for around $270. That's pretty nice. Like those are great tool carts. I've got a Craftsman, just a simple traditional skinny Craftsman system that my dad got me, and that works for what I need it for. Again, I've never been a guy that likes cabinets and drawers. I don't like hiding stuff. I want everything out in the open so I can find it. So that part has been a little hard for me to get used to, is just putting stuff in drawers.
Yeah.
I'd rather put everything on the wall. So
I use, David, I recently got a wall control pegboard unit. Not unit, whatever, pegboard. It's like a 3x4 pegboard thing. I got it off on Amazon. It's like $130. It's kind of like OmniWall, but I think cheaper. And I hung that up recently. I don't know what the heck to actually put on it because I don't want to put anything that would potentially fall off and hit one of my cars. So I need to figure that out. But I did that, and then I used my Husky cabinets for my tools or my Husky toolboxes. And then for my detailing supplies, I use my little art cart that I got at Michael's.
It's like a Target. You got it at Target, didn't you?
You can get it at Target or Michael's.
Basically an old IKEA cart.
Michael's has more stuff that you can accessories, and they're like $40. Mine was red. You can get them in whatever color you want, and that's what I have. That I just put all of my detailing.
Stuff you're working on.
Yeah, just my grab and go stuff, quick detailers, soaps, all that stuff.
There you go. Dane says Anthony Stark built that sound system in a cave.
Feel like it. David Boyce says, for all you audiophiles, Sansui, Pioneer, Marantz, Infinity, Techniques, and Polk, all the rage in the 70s, 80s, 90s, beautiful surround systems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was actually my dad who gave me his one of his Pioneer amps, and then gave me his Yamaha bookshelf speakers that he had in his garage. Those are some of the best speakers I ever had.
Yeah.
And I think I sold them in a garage sale, and this dude was like, do you know how much these are worth? And I go, no, not.
Don't tell me that.
I'm like, don't tell me that. And he goes, thank you so much. I think I sold for like $5 each.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
Anna Longfield saying, I would Harbor Freight, best bang for buck carts right now. And Alex G saying, subscribed and like. Thanks for all the detailing knowledge. And then David Cervantes, could we get more black on black merch designs? I know a bit of color in my wardrobe wouldn't hurt, but there's just something about that black shirt or hoodie. Yeah, it's been a great seller, David. You're for sure. And then we are back on page 1. Dane saying, so guys, what polishers did you forget to include in the recent tier list video that were brought up in the comments? Of those, how would you rank them today?
I don't know, Dane.
And Fred, now I wear Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds all of the time for noise canceling. Yeah, I have noise canceling headphones too. And then Fast and the Furious lol is what H&M says is his. And then Dan says, David, get the Milwaukee pack-out system. It's an idea. Couple drawers and all the cabinet.
There's also the new Flex
decks.
Flex decks, which are pretty sweet.
Those are nice too because they've got different cabinets and drawers, and you can add a whole bunch of stuff to it. And then
Dane
says, flight deck scene from the original Top Gun was my dad's favorite sound tester.
I could totally see
Jeff Hennon is also quite the audiophile.
I know, but I could totally see Jeff like gathering people and be like, all right, is everybody sitting down for this?
Yeah.
Start it up and just watching people like, so what do you think?
Yeah.
You
really feel like you're right there.
You really feel like you're right there.
That's what my dad always said. And then Ron says, the Buffalo Stampede scene in Dancing with the Wolves. Crank that up and you swear they were running through your living room. Oh, that's a good one.
Dancing with Wolves. That movie's so old, though. Was the audio decent in that?
Yeah, I'm sure you can get something with that now. But you got to remember, back in the day, you could do Laserdisc, you could do DVD.
It was more, I know, but how the actual thing was recorded in the first place, right? Like some of these old movies.
It's just a microphone.
I know, but how are some of them able to pump out that good a sound, though?
Who knows? Nick probably knows.
Nick probably knows.
But I know that my Uncle Brett had, and when my dad built his system, my Uncle Brett goes, hey, Brad, I heard you built your system. Why don't you come over to my house and see my system? Yeah. My Uncle Brett, at the time, 1994, full Bose system. Mm-hmm. Full Bose. The little tiny speakers and the little bookshelf ones. Yeah. Laserdisc player, all that crazy. Set it all up. He had a big screen. Yeah. He's like, here we go. My dad's like, I wish I had that kind of money. Wow. Like it put my dad to shame. But a fun fact, they're both still using the exact same systems they used 30 years ago. Well, they haven't upgraded anything.
That's where I genuinely think that like it could be a situation where you buy once, cry once, right? Mm-hmm. But you'll be happy with it, right? Like I think to your point there, how often is the sound system actually getting used? It's getting used maybe once, maybe a week, a couple times a month, right? So really, you're not using it maybe near as much as you should, but buying into something like a Sonos system or something like that, and you go, wow, this is really expensive, but you're going to have that for the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years.
You never know. Anna says also the beach landing Saving Private Ryan.
Yep, that's a good one.
That is a good one. Hans says testing sound systems, Earth Song, Michael Jackson. I'll have to check that one out. And then Neil, The Matrix sounds pretty dang good on a sound system that does. And then Dane says, agreed, Anna, I've done that a few times with the T-Rex night escape scene. That was the other one my dad used to pull. Mm-hmm. Jurassic Park when it's walking. Yeah. And he's like, mine makes it so the water does the same thing. The coffee table. Yeah. He was pretty stoked about it. Rick Smith, my garage stereo is an old FM with CD player. It's not OG spec, but like Uncle Matty, it makes noise and gives off static. Oh. Nice. Yeah, my garage stereo is my old home theater system. Yeah. Joey Belinsky says, Iowa, wow. That was a pull from the ethers, what that was. And then Meridian Marmot, I picked up a foam cannon for my personal care routine. Want to try active foam to really get down into my luscious fur coat. How much do you use in the foam cannon? Of active foam? Only about 100 milliliters.
100 mils.
Fill the rest with water. Joey says 1 ounce. And then Superauto says, we used to demo home theaters using Top Gun and the train wreck from The Fugitive back in the day. I could see that. That's like walking in like when you went to R.C. Willey's.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's the good old days. That's like the Fry's Electronics, the Circuit Cities, like the Best Buys when they actually gave a crap about sound systems and other things outside of like Apple products. No offense to Apple products, but I mean, it was the time back then, right? And that's why I love going to R.C. Willey, where you're going to get a person that is dressed up in a suit and tie, ready to sell you
with a name tag,
a camcorder. And I go,
we should go in and just buy some desktops, some countertop stereos.
We have to. Like, we need to go in and we need to say, what kind of Iowa units do you guys have? Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Mob Valet saying, you with Harry housewife, he my mate. All right.
Nice, Mom.
And then Meridian Marmot also have some of that Christmas GFX, but I'd like to spike it with some Green Star for me dirty lowers. How much Green Star should I add?
A couple, an ounce or two. Yeah. Whatever.
Lucas's Sledge Band channel.
Why is nobody mentioning the movie Car Wash with Richard Pryor? Best detailing movie ever.
I love that movie, I use the line from Daddy Rich all the time. I take what is given unto me. But I use it in conjunction with parking lots and parking spots. Yeah. Every time I'm granted a parking spot up close, I say, I take what is given unto me. And that line came from Daddy Rich in Car Wash. It's a great show. Toast 707 with a $1.99 super chat.
Thank you.
Beadmaker glass on glass is so underrated. It is.
It really is.
It's an amazing product for that. Oh, Days of Thunder, Dane, good one too. Yeah, we did that as well. Days of Thunder had a pretty good detailing scene. They got an okay detailing scene, but the opening sequence with the cars going by, it's another great one.
Yeah,
you hear the rumble and the cars racing by. Anna saying my dyslexia is out in full force today.
It's all good.
Dane says, my attempt to make a productive comment was glossed right over. I see what kind of day this is going to be. Lol.
No, Dane, as far as other polishers, I don't know off the top of my head of what we missed. I know people talked about the Mirka polisher that we needed to talk about. And then thinking back, we probably could have had some other
Well, we could have brought in
versions.
some of the other polishers that we actually wanted to do. We had some ones that we didn't get. We had the Makita sitting there off to the side. We never got to that one. It never got on the list. We could have easily done a couple of different more polishers. But at the end of the day, it was the list that we were given, and we used that.
Yeah, we don't have a Dynabrade polisher, so we never used it actually, so I don't know.
I wouldn't feel comfortable talking about it without using it. So, Super Auto saying, my first adult stereo was a Technic stack system in a cabinet with a glass door and matching height speakers.
So
Ooh,
sick
nasty.
with the glass door.
Yeah,
dude.
that'd be cool.
Those glass doors, because they all had the magnet on them, or you'd press it and you'd click it. No, you'd click one click to shut it, 2 clicks to pop it open. Remember that?
Yep.
God.
My cousin had it set up
Remember
like
when they
that?
were wooden? They had the wooden closed.
Yeah, my cousin I had a cousin that had a room in his house.
Yeah.
I was like 20. I was like 21. He was 10 years older than me. So he was like 31. And I went over to his house one day. And he goes, you got to come over. I got my music room set up. And I said, music room? Yeah. And it was just him and his wife. And they had this 3-bedroom house. And he goes, and his wife goes, it's his office. And I was like, oh, all right, let's go in there. We walk in. He has a cabinet system like that.
Yeah.
With the glass door. He's got the speakers mounted, but he got new speakers so that they were sitting in the corner, a couple Martin and Logans.
Yeah.
Right there on the side. And I was like, oh, snap. You got the Martin and Logans. Those are that was at the time, I think they were like $3,000 for the pair. And he had those sitting there. And I was like, whew. And he goes, yeah, a little Christmas present to myself, and birthday present, and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, lucky. And he had one chair in the middle of the room.
Oh, just sit there and experience.
Just to sit. Then I looked at the walls and I was like, what? And he's like, acoustic panels. And they were just canvas prints he had mounted to the walls. Then in the top corners, he had these tie-dyed foam panels, like tie-dye shirts wrapped around them, tucked up into the corners to deaden the space. And then some acoustic foam. And I was like, what kind of room is this?
Yeah.
And he's like, this is my music room. Sit down on the floor. And he had a beanbag chair. And I'm like,
really?
all right. And then he put on like Fish or Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I can't experience this kind of music. This isn't that good of music. And then I left.
Well,
but he was also an old kind of hippie, so that was his deal.
That was kind of his deal, but it also cracks me up like Matt, right? I love Matt, but he'll be like, I got my sound system, right? This is gonna be the best movie theater sound system of all time. And then he goes, do you guys want to watch, what's that show he watches with the horses?
With the horses?
The horse show that he watches. The show about the horses.
I have no idea what Matt watches.
Scroll up to the top.
Horses.
Let's get me my horse. There's somebody that's gonna chime in, guys. What's the show that Matt watches that with the horses? It's like a Canadian show. It's like a happy show he watches.
I don't know.
It's like the worst example of a show you can watch on surround sound. Why would anybody watch that on there? But anyways, okay. Nobody's gonna help me out here with this particular comment I'm looking for. Go to the first page. It's there. Levi, you're on the second page.
I am. I was. Checking to
Get me on the first page. Go to the very top. Scroll up to the very top. Somebody's going to help me out here. Top.
My finger is pushing the button.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, okay. Nobody's going to help me out here with that stupid name. There it is. Heartland. That's what it is.
Heartland.
And he watches Heartland on the surround sound. And I go, what? Like, that's what you're going to test this thing out? He goes, well, it relaxes me, and I like it. And I go, what the heck, man? So anyways, that's just kind of,
awesome.
I know what you mean about certain sound audio files will just have like the weirdest, strangest taste and be like, hey, this is how we're going to test this out.
That's what they do.
Give me something crazy.
Rick Smith says, I don't remember that scene from Days of Thunder. I think it's just the people polishing a car. And then Dane says, Anthony vastly underestimates the quality of original movie master
I know
copies.
that original master copies were very well shot ahead of their time. I know that. But like when I'm watching like what was it? Runs with Wolves? What was it called?
Yeah, well, the Dancing with Wolves.
Dancing with Wolves, right? That's the movie. It still looks like such an old movie to me because I remember watching it in high school. Mm-hmm. But I was also watching it on the AV Kids VHS TV. So
yeah,
maybe that's how I remember it.
Umberto says in the 80s I had an Onkyo. I remember Onkyo. I had that. Dane says 35 millimeter film has been commonplace since 1909, and 35 millimeter film resolution converts approximately to 5.6K resolution in digital.
Do you remember Omega? It was called Omega. It had the
sound system.
Omega sound system. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah. Aaron, the Buffalo Bill scene from Silence of the Lambs will be that is a good one because the music's good. The music's good in that one. Anna the Fugitive is an underrated movie. You're right.
So weird.
Joey Belinsky, Best Buy got rid of all physical media this week. That's right. Yesterday they announced they're getting rid of all physical media.
No,
CDs.
they did not.
Yeah, CDs. So there's a store in the mall. Augie and I were walking around the mall on New Year's Day because Hadley was getting her hair done. With Carly, they were doing that. Augie and I went, there's a store up in the upper corner by Macy's that sells CDs, games, like for Xbox and all that, comic books, and records.
Yeah.
Now, and I walked through there and I was literally, and DVDs and Blu-rays. And I was like digging through old CDs and stuff. It was crazy.
So what was really funny for Christmas?
Yeah.
My mom got me a, I don't know if they're called Blu-rays or HD. I don't know what the heck they're called anymore. But she got me essentially the DVD of the Gran Turismo movie.
Because you like it so much.
I like it. I love that movie.
We watched it.
But she got me but I open up my gift and I see it in there. I go, oh, Mom, like, thanks. And she goes, yeah, well, I know. Now you can, watch it anytime you want. And it was so funny because it was like whatever. I think it came out on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now. So it's so funny. But like, when will you receive the last DVD? That may honestly, legitimately be the last DVD gift I ever get.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I haven't received a DVD in a while, nor have I bought a DVD in a while.
But it's crazy.
What I've done is been buying movies on Prime that I want to keep, that I like watching.
But what's crazy to me is like if you still go into a Target, right, you'll still have end caps with DVDs.
Yeah.
So there's people that are buying them. Obviously, they wouldn't keep putting them out there if they weren't selling, right? In Target or Walmart or whatever else. But the fact that Best Buy was like, yeah, no, F it, we're going to get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. But when's the last time you physically went to Best Buy to buy a DVD? I don't know.
Yeah,
10 years?
Yeah, I haven't. Dane says, while sound development came later for film, there was already surround sound films being produced as early as 1940. You guys, we're in the middle of Dane. Like, this is exactly what his minutia and thinks about every day.
That's why I want to get past this topic.
Super Auto saying, I have a bright yellow Magnavox boombox in the garage, AM/FM dual cassette. Nice. And Dane, Anna the Fugitive is one of my dad's favorite films. Dane, your dad has good taste. My dad and I used to watch movies all the time. Dane clapping for Toast's super chat. Dane says, Anna, his dad's favorite movies were the Naked Gun series. And then Umberto says, my brother has an Iowa with 5 CDs, double cassette player, turntable. Still works pristine.
Oh, Umberto, it's amazing.
Franco says, what's up, nerds? Joey says, where would hand polishing fall on the tier list? Probably as a C. Like, it's not fun.
Oh, it's a D.
Maybe a D, yeah. And then LHF saying, Gone in 60 Seconds was my favorite for surround sound system, especially the ending car chase.
That
is a good one, especially like right when he picks up Eleanor and fires it up.
The music, because like it had that like ambient music, like as he sits there, he touches the dash, and you hear it fire up. I'm like, oh, that thing's nasty.
Yeah, that's a good scene. Everybody's saying hello to Umberto and Franco. Neil, the Rag Company podcast, it's talking about the beaver there. And then Rag Company Dane, LHF, love both the original and the Cage version. I hate the original Gone in 60 Seconds. It's so boring.
Is it?
It's the most boring movie on the planet. Neil White says, any MSTK 3K fans? MST 3K. Yeah, I am. I got my kids started on it. David saying, the original Blade Runner starring Harrison Ford was unbelievable surround sound throughout the theater. Yeah, that is a good one too. I like watching that one. Spencer.
I watched Blade Runner 2049 in like the silence of my home at like 11 a.m. on like a volume of 12. But I imagine that would probably sound relatively good.
It's got some good sound.
Yeah.
Spencer, my dad back in the day had a stereo and tint shop. In the basement, he had 2 7-foot tall towers. Each tower had a 15, 4 6x9s, 4 3s, 4 tweeters. Had about 5 to 6 amps, and you couldn't run the washer. That's awesome that your dad built those. It's even better. Rick Smith, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, Crank It Up. That's a good song. And then he goes, or the dryer, because it would pop a breaker. It's running so much power to those speakers. And then Dane saying, you're definitely on my wavelength. Alex reminding that's the Heartland. Franco says, I saw the sign, Ace of Base. That's your song. All right. Super Auto Ballin was upgrading the speakers to Serwin Vega floor speakers with 12-inch woofers. Nice. Everybody laughing. And Joey says, Mr. Ed. This is the movie. And then everybody just laughing about that. David saying Mr. Ed Anthony. Well, there we go. You guys, we've caught up to the top. But
it was... you're still on the second page.
Are we still on the second page?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Let me get over there. Oh, you're right. Rick Smith. And then Alex, nothing beats half a movie on surround sound. That's right, Alex. And then Franco, what about this masterpiece movie that whisper during the dialogue, making you turn all the way around only to blow your ears out with any sound effects? That's a good one. When you get to a movie where they whisper and then all of a sudden you're like, what? And then they blow up the next scene.
No, I just hate that when you're watching on your normal TV without a sound system.
Yeah.
And they're doing like a quiet, and you're like, what's happening?
Crank it up.
Right? And you crank it up and like, something
and then
crazy.
It blows out your other...
You're like, this isn't balanced correctly.
Yeah. Detailing Vibes, when's the next Rag Company deals on the website?
Next month.
Yep. Neil White saying Mad Max Fury Road will destroy your ears at full volume. Yeah, that's a good one. We just watched that the other day. Detailing Vibes 2006, what's your all favorite quick detail sprays you both recommend?
G-Technic Quick Detailer is awesome. Paint Gloss from PNS is amazing. I'm trying to think of what I've been using the most lately.
For me, it's Paint Gloss is, I think, my favorite
Paint
right
Gloss
now.
Is my
it's just
most
so simple.
It's my most like just
ease of
I don't
use.
call it wasted. It's my most. I just
you burn it. We just put it in the air.
The crap out of it. Dude.
Yeah,
I just use
that's
so
when I can
much
go
of
a lot.
it. But I'm trying to think of like legitimately like what's you're going to get your most bang. I mean, your most bang for your buck is going to be Paint Gloss, but like maybe your highest gloss, maybe the G-Technic stuff. Quick and Shine is amazing from Kosh Chemi. It can kind of build up because it does have quite a bit of body to it when you're pairing it on top of other sealants and stuff. So keep that in mind. Quick Finish isn't as slick, but it can technically be used as a quick detailer. I don't know. There's some good ones out there. I just kind of having a hard time thinking of anything else that's standing out to me right now. Moving on. Here we go. G. Davis says, Dane always enjoys playing Disney songs on the South of...
Disney's Song of the South.
Disney's Song of the South on Laserdisc through his theater system. Crap.
Then Neil White saying, I'm never getting rid of my Lord of the Rings DVD box set. 35 hours of awesomeness. Franco saying, Dane. And then Aaron saying, Joey, is Best Buy having a sale on DVDs? And he goes, not sure. I haven't bought physical media in over a decade. Anna says, Dane, my dad's favorite is all the Die Hard movies or Lethal Weapon movies. Frank, can you layer EXO V5 over C4 trim coating? Yes, you can. And then Joey says, I'm sorry I hijacked the show with the home theater talk. That's how it works, man. That's the fun part of the show. Someone says something, we go off on a tangent. It's great. G. Davis says, I am shocked Dane isn't here today after the client list from Luke Berge Island dropped today.
Holy crap, dude! I had to let that sink in for a second. Wasn't really paying attention, and then that hit me, and I go, "Oh man." Spencer says the Dark Knight trilogy will forever be the GOAT. The second one is Spencer.
That's a good one.
Dark Knight is it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Dane says he loves the original 60 Seconds, is slow, but I love it for the variety of cars in it. The final chase is quite literally insane. That's true. They beat the ever-living snot out of that car.
Dane, but those cars are so old.
They are very old, and the whole movie's brown.
No.
And then he says the Cage version is inherently more watchable, to be sure. And my favorite car chase scene is the beginning of Baby Driver. We all agree on that.
Fantastic one, yep.
Jeff C. Potty training our son. It's been a challenge. I knew I should have ordered some Rippin' Rags. Have the PNS trifecta on hand. Do I need all three, or is just Carpet Bomber and Finisher enough? Yeah, Terminator also helps.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Terminator mostly, I think, is all you really would need, but having Carpet Bomber do the best. Alex saying subtitles are life, and then he laughed about the G. Davis one. And then Dane says the sound of Tenet was brutal and my least favorite Nolan experience. Luke says subtitles suck. When he left my home, he had turned off the subtitles in the upstairs theater. Alex says, I'm out of here, fellas. Great show. Take care. Love you all. Thank you, man. EC saying Blade Runner. And then Dane saying, have a great night, doer. Rick says original Gone in 60 Seconds was better. LHF, the original and only one worth watching, The Fast and Furious, was also amazing on my old surround system. Car Guy Heaven.
Yep.
Everybody dying. Dane. And then David, have either of you used the new Bissell spot cleaner with steam? I picked one up and it's awesome. No, but that is, I've always liked the little Bissell spot cleaners. We both have them. They're great little tools for little jobs. That's a great one to pick up, especially if you have a new puppy or any type of animal thing. It's really nice to have.
Yeah.
Like that. And then Anna says, I haven't seen Baby Driver. Don't hate me on that one.
Well, you have to, dude.
Dane says, you got to.
So good. Wow, I think we've done it.
Now we're back up to 3:45, and we got all the comments. So
Anna we'll watch Baby Driver this weekend. Okay.
Well, there we go.
Let's round this bad boy out. Nick,
take this sucker home.
We're going home.
Thank you, guys. Luke says, I got to figure out where I'm putting my case of 80 count Rippin' Rags. There you go, Dane. There, Luke. He bought a case of 80 counts.
Pretty good.
Very nice. As always, guys, thank you. Please make sure you like this channel. Make sure you're subscribed to all the Rag Company content. Make sure you mark your calendars for TRCMA April 1st through April 4th. Try and take that week off of work so you can just sit and watch all of TRCMA. That's what we really want you to do, but we understand if you got to watch it while at work. So, as always, guys, Anthony, thank you for being here. Dane, thank you for leaving comments and helping out in there. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out and spent the afternoon with us. And as always, stay tuned for more videos right here at the Rag Company. See ya.
See ya.